Hi everybody, my name is Steve Cullen, editor of Total Fly Fisher magazine, and today I'm going to tie the UV Bloodworm. In the vise just now I've got a size 10 Amazon B175, and what I'm going to do is I'm taking a couple of thread wraps here all the way down the hook shank. I'll do this several times to create the body of the fly actually. I'm going to stop somewhere halfway between the point of the hook and the barb of the hook. Take my thread back up again, making sure that none of the hook's visible. So I've got my tying thread back up to a little bit behind the eye of the hook shank, and here's some quite long red rabbit fur. I'm going to take a generous pinch of this stuff, and what I do is I spin it in my fingers like so, just to bind everything together. I don't want a huge long tail on this, but I want it quite sufficient so I get some movement. Now I'm going to come down the hook shank, nice even touch and turns, to a point where we finish with the thread body, like so. That's my tail. Any excess fibres that seem to be floating about, just give them a little trim. Now what I'm going to do is take my thread back up the hook shank in open turns and tie in some of this stuff. Pearl tinsel, ice blue. This is medium. It's got to be my ribbon material. This has got to be the bit that catches light, makes this little part stand out. Being careful not to stretch the tinsel, I'm going to secure it on my side of the hook shank, a couple of thread wraps, and I'm going to wind the thread down the body on my side, catching the tinsel as I go. Again, overlapping thread wraps, working your way down the hook shank, keeping everything nice, neat and tidy. If you miss anything, if there's a little gap, you'll catch that on the way back up, so don't panic too much. Now's the time to be neat. Every wrap button up against the previous one. And I'm going to stop a little bit behind the eye of the hook because I want to get a thorax on there. Trim the waist tinsel, like so. And in nice open turns, I'm going to wind this UV, starting at the base, up the body. Stopping at my thorax region, secure with a thread wrap, and another, and another. What I'm going to do is get this UV tinsel, ice blue, medium tinsel, and I'm going to secure it at the top of the hook, just behind the eye. Now, I'm going to pull this down the side of the hook shank, winding down to the end of the body. You don't need to be too neat at this stage, coming up you certainly do. So that's us tied in. I'm going to snip at the top here, put this in my spring out of the way. Now, with nice controlled thread wraps, I'm going to work my way back up the body. Taking care to cover every bit of the UV. Doesn't have to be too neat, you'll see why just shortly. And then, I'm going to take my UV and starting at the bottom, I'm going to work my way up, in quite open turns, maybe 3 or 4. And then stop at the thorax region and secure with some thread wraps, 2 or 3. Take your scissors, missed that there, sorry. Take your scissors and trim that. Now at this stage, all I'm going to do is put finish, because what I'm looking to do here is create the hard body that's going to be able to deal with the trout's teeth. And I'm going to give it a few coats of varnish. Make sure it's nice and even. Don't get any on the rabbit. But it gives it that lovely lustrous look, as you can see, a nice glassy looking thing, which is like the real McCoy. All that blood, hemoglobin in its body. Nice and shiny. I'm not sure if the light can pick out that UV there a bit. Let this coat dry, then give it another. So it's got 2 coats. Because we're doing this in real time, I'm not going to let that dry, but you get the idea. Now what I'm going to do is reattach the tying thread and stop at a point where you want the thorax to be. And it's then a case of taking the rabbit. You can also use red dubbing, but you've got the rabbit out. Nice and easy. Dub it onto the tying thread. Quite tight rope. I want this fly to sink quickly. The movement's going to be in the tail. The rabbit in the tail. Nice glossy body. Makes the fly that little bit heavier. Make sure you've got a nice tight rope. And then just wind on the thorax. Like so. A little bit more pronounced in the body. And then pull everything back. And it's just a case of whip finishing. Like so. Maybe another one. So you've got a nice, lovely, hard, translucent body with that little bit of UV glint. Plenty of movement. Plenty of weight, which is what you're wanting for a fly that fishes in the bottom. A little bit of varnish. Again, just in the tying off part. And there you go, a little UV bloodworm. Very easy to tie and great for fishing with. Hope you enjoy fishing with it, folks. Take care, I'll see you again next time.